And we are back. Welcome to my predictions for Premier League Game Week 19. The Boxing Day fixtures. It wouldn't be Christmas without the football on Boxing Day. And I hope everyone had a very good Christmas day yesterday and are now getting ready for a big day of football today. If you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video if you enjoy all of my predictions. And subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. We're going to be doing all of the African Cup of Nations coming up next month. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that as well. Let's get into the final game week of the first half of the Premier League season. And we start off with Newcastle and Nottingham Forest in the early kickoff today. I think this is probably one of the easier ones to call. I think we'd all be a bit surprised if Nottingham Forest did get a result here. Yes, Newcastle haven't been the best recently. Their players have looked absolutely knackered, but a few players have started to get themselves back into the team and they have started to make some sort of a difference. Nottingham Forest, despite changing manager, still lost at home to Bournemouth at the week earlier on midweek. So I just don't see any other result here other than a Newcastle win. It's just going to be a case of how many. I'm going to go for 3-0. I could see Nottingham Forest scoring, but I really just don't fancy them at all today. On to the first of two 3 o'clocks. It is Bournemouth taking on Fulham. Bournemouth off the back of that win at Nottingham Forest. Fulham off the back of a real shock defeat at home to Burnley after all those games of winning by several goals consecutively. The sending off against Newcastle and then, like I say, a 2-0 defeat against Burnley now sees Fulham 2 games without a goal and 5 goals conceded. So with that said, I think we have to go with the side that is now the more in form of the two, especially at home, and that is Bournemouth. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for them, which will see them go even further up the table. Speaking of the table, our other 3 o'clock game between Sheffield United and Luton is a massive 6-pointer at the bottom of the table. Now, since Chris Wilder has come into Sheffield United, they have improved drastically, certainly defensively, but even a little bit offensively as well. They've certainly created a few more important chances and, of course, got that incredible result against Aston Villa and were arguably very unlucky not to get the win. However, you could also argue they were incredibly lucky not to lose given the amount of VAR decisions that went in their favour. As for Luton Town, a fantastic win for them against the tired Newcastle last time out in honour of Tom Lockyer, and I think they're definitely more than capable of going and getting a result today against Sheffield United. My only concern is how many goals could they score, because like I said, Sheffield United have been very good defensively. I can see this being a very tight game. I can see it being settled by 1-0 one way or another. However, I'm just going to put this one down the middle at a 1-1 draw. I just really think this is going to be the risk of making a Michael Owen statement. The side that takes the most chances is going to win the game. I just don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring one, and I'm going to go for 1-1. The first of the 2 evening games, the 5:30 game, sees Burnley taking on Liverpool. Burnley, of course, as we just said, off the back of their win over Fulham, are going to be full of confidence going into this one, and will probably think they can go out and beat Liverpool, which is the absolute worst thing they can possibly do. Because as we all know, if you attack Liverpool, they will hit you on the counter and they will punish you, as has been proven with the performance from West Ham last week. And to an extent, kind of what Arsenal did. They were very lucky not to lose, Arsenal, because of the amount of chances Liverpool hit on those counters towards the back end of that match. So I think if Burnley have any chance of winning this game or getting a result in this game, they need to be more defensively solid. I just don't think that's how Vincent Kompany wants to operate. I think he's going to go for it, and I think Liverpool are going to punish them. So I'm going to go for a 4-1 win to Liverpool. The final game on Boxing Day is tonight's game, which is Manchester United taking on Aston Villa at Old Trafford. And as a Manchester United fan, I just don't even know how we get the result here tonight. Something has got to click in order for this to work. I could see us potentially getting a 0-0 draw, in whereby we sit back again like we did at Anfield, but I just don't think we'll do that, especially at home with the crowd inevitably getting on the players' backs if we do try and play like that. There's obviously all the talk about Jim Ratcliffe now taking over. He's going to want to see a performance from Erik ten Hag's side tonight. Otherwise, he's probably going to sack him. So I don't know where we score. I think changes have to be made to the starting lineup if we're going to score. And I just don't think there are going to be changes to the starting lineup. Maybe Rashford comes in. Maybe that makes some small amount of difference. I just don't see it happening. I'm going to go 1-0 Aston Villa. I think Villa will score. I think they're too good offensively for us to keep them out. And I just don't think we'll score. I really don't. I think it's going to be 5 games in a row where we don't score. I hope I'm wrong. I hope something clicks again tonight, and I hope we get a massive win against a side that is quite frankly going for the title right now. But our performances this season against the big teams have not been good enough, and I just think Villa will end up getting the win. On to tomorrow. We've got 3 games tomorrow, starting off with Brentford taking on Wolves. And honestly, I think this is the toughest prediction of the lot. Probably Sheffield United and Luton would be the other really, really tough one this week. Yeah, I really don't know where they'll put this. Brentford have several players injured, several players suspended. They still played relatively well last week. Wolves have been good, obviously beating Chelsea, but then they lost quite heavily to West Ham. Their form's inconsistent. Neto's still not back yet. When I say this could be anything, this really could be anything. It wouldn't surprise me if Brentford won 3-0. It wouldn't surprise me if Wolves won 3-0. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw just because I genuinely can't split these two sides. I would be avoiding this one on any sort of accumulators or whatever this week because this could be absolutely anything in my opinion. Next up, it is Chelsea and Crystal Palace. Chelsea, who once again are going to be looking for a response after a very poor performance against Wolves, where they should have definitely been leading through Raheem Sterling passing the ball to either Cole Palmer or Nicholas Jackson, but he didn't. Will Christopher Nkunku start? I think if he does, that'll be a massive bonus for Chelsea. And plus, Crystal Palace, despite playing well, have not really been picking up enough points recently. I do expect a little bit better from them, and I think this is a good opportunity for Chelsea to nick one. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Chelsea. I think that is probably just about the fairest result for this one. Next up, and the final game on tomorrow, the later game sees Everton taking on Manchester City at Goodison Park. Everton, of course, absolutely on it at the moment, producing results left, right and centre. City, domestically, have been very, very poor. I think it's only 1 win in 6 now for Man City. Might be 1 win in 5, but I think it's 1 win in 6. They have, of course, been away in Saudi Arabia, picking up the World Club Cup. So congratulations to them for now officially becoming the best team in the world. Or I think we all kind of thought they would beat Red Diamonds and Fluminense. But they've still got to do it, and they did it very, very well. So they'll be coming back to England today with that big gold badge on their chest. And potentially with Erling Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne in the squad, potentially even in the starting lineup. So massive, massive job on for Everton tonight, or tomorrow night, should I say. But they do have a pretty good record against Manchester City at home. And everyone remembers the big Rodri handball incident. I think that was either last season or 2 seasons ago. I just think, from what I've seen of these two sides recently, Everton could nick something. And this might be my biggest controversy this week. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. But watch this space. Obviously, we all know on their day, City can turn up and blow away anyone. But I just think the form they've been showing in the league from both of these sides, Everton might just be able to nick this one. Finally, we move on to Thursday's games. We have Brighton taking on Spurs first in a game that, again, I think we have to favour Spurs. Brighton still haven't really been producing the goods recently. I think they're rotating their team far too much, whether that's due to injuries or, it's a couple of suspensions. And I know De Zerbi likes to mix up all of these youngsters. I just think they need a little bit more consistency in their lineup. And that's possibly why they've been losing and drawing a lot recently. Spurs, on the other hand, have been getting that consistency back. Richarlison's scoring goals again. And I just think Spurs are a little bit too good for Brighton this week. And I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Spurs. And then finally, it is Arsenal taking on West Ham United. And look, both these sides produced good performances in their games last week. Arsenal, of course, getting the draw at Anfield. I did think they'd get the win, but they didn't quite come up in that one. West Ham, who I thought would lose to Manchester United, ended up beating Manchester United relatively comfortably. So they're going to be confident going to the Emirates that they could get a result. However, their away form recently has been very, very poor, and Arsenal at home do tend to win near enough every single game. So I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised that I round off today's fixtures with a 3-1 win to Arsenal. That is going to be it for today's video. As always, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back at the weekend where we get to do this all over again. But stay tuned, because after these games, I am also going to do my mid-season review. So I'll catch you then.